we are here today at the Alam Law Office to celebrate a very special group of kids who have represented Canada on an international scale. So I'm very pleased and delighted to talk to a group of students here that have accelerated and proven themselves to be capable students in the world. What do I mean by that? So every year, the National Space Society, NSS, and NASA present students with a series of challenges, of which one of them is known as the Gerard K. O'Neill Space Settlement, in which students are asked to design a self-sustaining space settlement in outer space. And amazingly, this year, we have two groups from the Central Peel Secondary School in Brampton that have ranked #1 internationally. So out of 4,567 submissions and 26,725 participants from 19 countries, we have successful students from here in Brampton. Every year, the National Space Society, NSS, and NASA present students across the world with a series of challenges, of which one of them is the Gerard K. O'Neill Space Settlement Contest. What is required in this contest is to design a self-sustaining orbital space settlement. And what we're really excited to celebrate today are two Canadian groups who actually ranked first internationally. So out of 19 countries, 26,725 participants, and 4,567 submissions, we have two groups from the Central Peel Secondary School that ranked first. And we're very excited to be speaking with them today. I am delighted to introduce you to Ms. Mate, who is the grade 12 math teacher for one of these groups.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having us today. It's quite an honor to be here and speak about the accomplishments of my students. So I have here with me 3 of my students, one grade 9 and 2 grade 12s. As you know, they participated in this space settlement contest. Not only did they participate, but they actually came first in the world. They are the only 2 Canadian teams that were on the list of winners this year. So that is quite an accomplishment. So I'm going to let them introduce themselves and talk a little bit about their projects. We're going to start here with the representative from grade 9.
Hello, my name is Mahimna Patel, and I'm a representative of the grade 9 team, which named their project The Revolution. We basically designed a body that orbits Mars, shaped as a torus, to house around 95,000 humans in the first generation. And this is basically, if something was to ever happen to Earth, we can always rely on this settlement to continue civilization and house humans.
Thank you. I'm Anant, and our project was called the Gaia's Hope, and it was a project that revolved around Titan. And the inspiration behind it was, well, of course, as my fellow peer mentioned earlier, that if Earth no longer existed, we chose that Titan would be an ideal, well, moon to orbit around. And we chose that for numerous factors, of course. But we came across Gaia's Hope and the inspiration behind that because it's around Titan, and we thought back to Greek and how we sort of were inspired from the civilizations and the culture which was there. And we sort of came upon Gaia's Hope as a way to say that this is Earth's hope in the next level of humanity.
Hi, my name is Ruhaim. I'm also with Anant in the grade 12 group for our project called Gaia's Hope. And well, he kind of give a background on its name and what inspired us. And just to give a quick overview, we basically split our project into several sections, which covered all the different aspects of our society in a general sense, such as lifestyle, structure of the space, settlement, energy, the government itself, and stuff like that. And one of the major things was, we were kind of inspired by the idea of what if we didn't have Earth, and that's why we kind of named it Gaia's Hope, right? The hope to continue civilization.
Thank you very much for your introduction. I'm so excited to talk to you further. So the first question that we have for you, which you kind of already answered, is kind of the theme that you chose. So the grade 9 group chose The Revolution, and the grade 12 group chose Gaia's Hope as your titles. But what do you think was the successful theme that allowed you to rank so highly internationally?
I guess the theme that allowed us to rank so highly internationally was the fact that we made it very human-like, from the gravity to the environment, right? So to replicate Earth's gravity, we had a torus shape, which made it easy to spin, and hence create centrifugal force to replicate the gravity. And I guess that was the theme.
Right. So we had, well, and I'm sure Ruhim can touch upon it as well. We had numerous factors that we thought would bring it in. Well, starting off, like, for example, lifestyle and utilizing resources. But we also came upon like X factors and like things that would sort of help ours feel more humanly. I'll touch base on one of them, which was an anthem. Like, and I know, like in Canada here, every day, every morning, we stand for the Canadian anthem, and we thought that, well, if it's around in Canada, like in different places around the world, people stand and pride themselves in their nation, which they stand on, of course, right? So we decided to have an anthem as well that sort of represents the people and represents the people around Gaia's Hope.
Yeah, so just like Anant mentioned, we had several different X factors that we tried to include to, make our project stand out. He touched base on, our national anthem, and one of the another like major ones I wanted to talk about was like just our deep depth in like the idea of government. I don't think it's that popular of a section to cover, but some of our friends, we worked together and, we developed like, the type of government, how voting systems would work, elected representatives, the absolute power with NASA and how basically the framework of society, some of the smaller things that people might overlook when doing the project. And I feel like that was also a really big, factor in our win.
Okay, so leading into my next question now, for Ms. Mate, you must be incredibly proud of these students for their accomplishments. So I just want to ask you, what's next for you here in terms of your leadership role for these students?
Thank you so much. Very good question. So as an immediate step, next step, we will be going together with the students at the International Space Development Conference that takes place at the end of May 25th to May 28th in Texas. And this is their chance to present their project in front of scientists from NASA and National Space Society. What a better accomplishment for them, but to talk to best scientists in the field about their research and about their project. Now, moving forward, what I really hope to accomplish with this project is I want to inspire other students in our school, in Brampton, in Ontario, in Canada, to continue and do the best they can do. It's important to understand that the kids you see here, the students you see here, are not superhumans. They can be any student out there in any school, but if the correct factors and conditions are in place, they can accomplish things that they can't even think. They can't even, if they believe in themselves, they can accomplish fantastic things. And that's definitely my hope, that in the future other kids will be inspired to dream big in the end, not necessarily in the field of space development, not even necessarily in STEM, but to inspire kids to be the best they can be.
So my dream career was to become a quantum physicist, right, before I started this project. And I feel as if this project has just inspired me more to pursue my passion in quantum physics. And I'm still relatively young, so I'm looking forward to new experiences and maybe even next year winning the grand prize in this competition. So after going to the conference, I hope to learn many things from my fellow peers who won the competition and maybe to add that to our project next year and win grand prize.
Sweet, yeah. So one of the next steps, especially in my perspective, is also, well, learning about these other individuals and sort of these industry professionals at the conference and sort of, well, learning from them, of course, right? And growing my network and sort of understanding from their views and helping them facilitate growth, as well as, of course, like aiding in more people following their dreams and their careers. For me, especially, I know I really wanted to go more into engineering, and I wanted to create something that would aid and impact things from a smaller scale, but even like globally. I want to impact as many people as possible. And one of those things which we covered upon in our project was even cryptocurrency. And I was using the blockchain, and it's sort of relatively new in this day and age, but it's something that sort of like sparked the fire. I know that when I started learning more and more and more about it, I want to create something on that platform and utilize the blockchain in order to push, well, my own career in creating something. And I know we utilized it more economically on Gaia's Hope, our project, but I want to utilize it more in order to aid and further up either through like smart contracts or send in tokens and well, they're NFTs of course, but working with that and inspiring new individuals and impacting new individuals globally.
I just want to agree with most of the things that Anant said, involving, expanding your network and learning from the people in those positions that you want to be in the future. And since you already talked about that, another major thing I want to talk about was like how this project basically cultivated my skills in, collaboration, inquiry-based and project-based learning, right? And I feel like my next step would be, continue to cultivate these skills because that's what leads to success in, post-secondary education. I personally want to pursue, and it's a little bit of a curveball, but I want to go into research with biology and chemistry within that field generally. And even though it might not seem to relate this much, it actually really does, since a lot of people overlook those aspects of, how would, vegetation look like? How would you create your own cycles for water or for oxygen or for different resources, right? And there's a lot of these, internal factors within, our biology and, animal biodiversity as well. So I feel like this project allowed me to build on those interests. It just kind of proved to me that, yeah, I'm interested in what I'm going in.
Thank you so much for all of your responses. It's very refreshing to hear how diverse a lot of your career, dream careers are, and so great to see how much you want to support them in achieving these dream careers. And so all of you seem to either be in line with, space settlements or not, maybe even crypto, but in some way or another, each of these things are important, even in space as they are over here. So really exciting to see how wherever you end up. So definitely keep us posted on your accomplishments after. But moving into the next question, which I think is very important for someone like me who's grown up here in Canada as a South Asian. How does it feel to be representing Canada as South Asians? Because I think South Asians are so big in terms of our population, but specifically here in Peel. And so it's very rare for us to have these opportunities to represent Canada in the way that you are. So what's something that you're really, describe what it feels like to be South Asian, Canadian, and also recognized at the international scale?
Guess it just feels amazing to be South Asian and be representing my home country, Canada, at an international scale, right? Never thought I would achieve this level, especially in grade 9, maybe later down the line I thought I'd achieve it, but this early, never thought I would. And I guess it just feels so good. Because growing up, I never had anyone to look up to as a South Asian, right, living in Canada. So I guess maybe I can be that inspiration for younger generations.
Yeah, I agree. Being a first-generation immigrant myself, I know that my parents will sacrifice a lot coming here, and especially as he touched based on earlier as well, being first-generation immigrants, there's not too many people, especially I have no immediate family here. So it was a lot of new faces, new people, and learning new things, which helped foster growth. But it aided me to sort of understand and feel pride of who I am as well. And it aids me in aiding others in understanding and helping them grow their own futures as well within STEM or within whatever field they try to in the future, of course. But it's very prideful for me to be part of that community that has some success.
I personally feel very honored, to be given this opportunity to represent, South Asians and Canadians on an international level. And I, in chemistry and in other science classes, we were given projects to research BIPOC scientists and people in those fields. And it feels kind of nice to know that, maybe in the future I might be one of those, people kids are researching and inspired by, being a person of South Asian descent as well as Canadian heritage. It feels really nice to know that, I might be able to inspire someone by going on with my journey.
So now that we learned a little bit about your experience here and about your project and everything, you all have illustrated this aspect of wanting to contribute to society and give back to society. But what immediate message or words of advice would you have for young kids, or maybe not even young kids, maybe even someone like myself, who's still kind of figuring out what to do and, a little bit unsure about where my career is headed? What sort of advice do you want to give as inspirations to us, especially those who might be first-gen immigrants or young kids who are also South Asian? If you could give them any piece of advice moving forward, what would it be?
The first advice that I'd give is to set your goals really high. Only you can limit yourself, and you probably shouldn't limit yourself. So you have to set your goals to where you don't think you can reach, and you have to work to reach that. Not only that, but you also have to work very hard, persevere, obviously, and everything happens for a reason. Whether it's good or for bad, it's to contribute to your future. So anything bad happening, don't let it let you down, and just continue striving to your goal.
Yeah, so I think the keywords of wisdom I'd pass on is if there isn't a door, make one. I know there's like a lot of there are a lot of things like, hey, I can't do this. Hey, like this is not possible. Hey, I got rejected from this. But the key thing is understanding that at the end of the day, if there isn't something, make something, and that'll help you. Well, even if it fails, you learn something from it, and it forces you to take that extra step you otherwise wouldn't have. And it's also understanding that at the end of the day, everything is a learning lesson. So even if you're getting rejected, you know that something in there is wrong, so you fix that. And that aids you in understanding and getting more wisdom and experience in understanding like the field in general, or like whatever you're trying to do. So it aids you in future opportunities and even better opportunities. So again, if there isn't a door, make one.
So this question kind of gets really personal to me because I have like one really big piece of advice that I've been trying to personally work on, and it's just the idea of like, don't doubt yourself or your abilities. Miss Matei would know, just like yesterday or the day before, she's talking to me about how I performed really well, and she's like, Rahim, throughout the year you've been doubting your abilities, but you've always performed really well, and it's just that idea of like, take this step, like you said, make the door and take the door, right? Even if you feel like it's a very unlikely chance, you should always go for it if you really believe in it. I, like in a million years, never would have thought we would have actually won the competition, and I just did it for fun. But here we are, and we're all celebrating. So it just feels really nice, and it's just the idea, if you work hard, you just need to believe in yourself and your abilities, and everything will go your way.
Of course, teachers are literally the foundation of these students. They are what provide all of the basis for building dreams. And so, what advice would you have for these students? In terms of their future and where they're headed? What would you want to tell them with your infinite experience as a teacher?
Oh, thank you. That's very generous. I think they summarize very well believing in themselves and always working hard. I grew up thinking that everything is possible if you work hard, and that's what I teach my students every day. I teach them math, but I hope I teach them a little bit more. And one of the things that I hope they realize is that if they believe in themselves and they work hard every day, you roll up your sleeves and you do the work, hard work always pays off. So yeah, definitely that's what I want them to take.
That's great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. So, thank you, Ms. Matei, and thank you to some of our representatives here for really teaching me a lot about their space settlement, and also best of luck to all of you. Let's keep going. Go Canada, and go Gaia's Hope and Team Revolution. Thank you. Thank you so much. Now we have another group of students who are also part of the two teams that won internationally in this competition, and I have the honor of introducing here Ms. Garner, who is the principal of Central Peel Secondary School.
Hi, thank you. As you said, I'm Miss Garner. I'm the principal of Central Peel Secondary School in Brampton, and I am absolutely privileged to be the principal of a school with such talented young people. They have inspired others. Their determination, dedication, collaboration, I can go on and on about all of the skills that they hold, but they are a phenomenal group, and we are super proud as a school and as a board of these students.
Hello, my name is Rehan Jafar. I'm a grade 9 student. Our project name is The Revolution, based on the Latin word revolvere, to revolve.
Thank you. I'm Tanvir Guhunia. I'm a grade 12 student, and I'm one of the students that worked on Gaia's Hope, and I specialized in government and economics.
My name is Methab Chima. I'm a grade 12 student as well, and I was working with Tanvir on the Gaia's Hope, and I was working on lifestyle and recreation.
Okay, so going into our first question, so what do you think was the central theme of both the Revolution and Gaia's Hope that allowed you to win on an international level?
Right. So right away, based on the name, The Revolution, to revolve. Our space element had the design to replicate Earth's gravitational pull, okay, by using a torus-shaped settlement, which would create an easier lifestyle for humans on that settlement.
Thank you. And in contrast, Gaia's hope, for those of you that don't know in context, Gaia is the personification of Earth in Greek mythology. So the idea behind Gaia's hope was to kind of recreate the human experience on Earth, but kind of also make adjustments to consider some of the factors that are unique in space. So we changed some ideas in government, but we also stayed true to some of our human values, like we have a national anthem. And doing that really helped us, stay successful in my opinion. And I think it came a long way in our final decision and placement.
In Gaia's Hope, we understood the importance of mental health and physical activity. So we prioritized that, and that was our main theme in lifestyle. Every part of our settlement had various types of themes. Economics had the theme of crypto, and the structure was also cylindrical type, which allowed us to use centripetal force to generate gravity as well.
So great. This leads me to my next question. Ms. Garner, first you. What are your next steps now in supporting the students, and how do you plan on inspiring them further as a leader?
Okay, that's a loaded question, but that's okay. So the first step is to ensure that they can make it to the international space Space Development Conference in Texas. It's important for us to support this kind of huge field trip because I want them to have that exposure. I want them to meet those professionals. I want them to be inspired, and I also want to inspire other students, as well as inspire the entire Peel District School Board. There's a lot of schools in Peel that can live up to this and can look forward to something like this. And so, there's financial and paperwork and parents and liabilities that all need to be taken care of that Ms. Matea and I will oversee to ensure that they get there.
That's great. Thank you so much. And now for the students, how do you find that this experience has shaped your dream career, and what is your dream career?
Right. So first, I developed a small interest in neurology, but now I'm reconsidering that. And I'm thinking of maybe going into aerospace engineering. I also plan on learning from this valuable experience going to the ISDC conference and to add more value to future contest submissions. I am still a grade 9 in my freshman year of high school, and so there's so many opportunities ahead of me and ahead of my members in my group. And so we plan on using this experience wisely.
And in comparison, I'm at the end of my high school career. I'm in grade 12, but this contest was really helpful and really eye-opening and helping me decide what I wanted to explore in the future. Working in government economics, I got the opportunity of exploring the ideas behind cryptography and how they can kind of integrate in our society and kind of create change. So there were some really unique ideas that we explored in Gaia's Hope, and I hope to study them when I study computer science in university.
So I want to go into the field of engineering. And through this settlement competition, I was able to learn about innovation. And my long-term goal is to make a company that innovates the world. So through this space settlement competition, I was able to learn about new ways to innovate the world and humanity in various fields. So I believe this competition helped me get more interested and passionate about my long-term goal and make me more driven.
Thank you so much. I, again, appreciate the diversity here in terms of the different careers that you might want to explore and the passion that you guys are all showing for those careers. So best of luck. Leading to my next question, how does it feel to be South Asian and to be representing Canada as South Asians? What is that experience like? And you can just share what it feels like.
Right. It feels amazing to be South Asian, being a minority, being able to contribute to this great cause and do this great thing. I feel honored to be given this title with my group members. All right. And yeah, that's about it. It feels wonderful being South Asian.
Similarly, I'm also honored to be representing Canada as a South Asian. I wouldn't be here today without my community and the support that my family and everyone else around me has given me. So all around, I just feel honored to help those and kind of maybe set examples for those that are going to come up.
Going off of what Tanvir said, we are an example that times are changing, that no matter what race or gender you are, you can achieve any goal that you have. So you should chase them and not worry about what obstacles you may face.
like words of encouragement would you have for other South Asian or non-South Asian but inspired kids who might be watching this program? What piece of advice would you give them if they're inspired by you all?
Right. So I would say don't settle for less. Being an immigrant coming to Canada, many different factors affect how society treats you, and sometimes it may be demotivating how you're treated and how different results can affect you. And the result of rejection, that can be a fear for many people. So I would say don't settle for less. Reach your goals, try your best, and I know every single one of you out there can reach your goals.
I have kind of similar advice in the fact that I'm saying that you're a lot more capable in what you think you can do. And if you had told me 2-3 years ago that I'd be where I am today, representing the South Asian community on an international stage the way I will be doing hopefully in the future, I wouldn't believe you. But that just goes to show that you're a lot more capable than what you think of, and you really just gotta get to work to kind of see the results that you want to see.
Going off what they both said, you just got to trust the process. You just have to go along with the flow, work as hard as you can, and things might not seem like they're going your way at first, but then in the end, success could pile up and could come all together.
All right, and then for Ms. Garner, as a leader for not just these students, but the students in your school and also other students probably across the board, what piece of advice would you want to give anyone who's watching this as someone who's leading them?
I think probably the piece of advice that I would give to students is to have a goal and to work towards it. And that goal can change. It can change 100 times, but you have to keep your eye on the prize so that you know what you're working towards and that you have something that you're aiming for all of the time. And then you'll get there, and you may take different paths to get there, and it may lead you to other things, and you'll develop other goals. But you will be successful if you have a goal.
Thank you so much, Ms. Garner, and to all the students who shared these great pieces of advice with us today. We wish you all the best moving forward, and we hope that you continue to represent Canada on the international scale and find success in everything you do. So thank you very much, all of you. Thank you all so much for watching. If you would like to stay updated with the progress of these incredible students, you can follow the social media pages for the Central Peel Secondary School, or you can follow ISDC or the Space Development Conference on Twitter.